that's what we're going to do.
Super rumble going on here, these young ladies.
Hello.
Thank you for coming. This is Josie Bridget.
All dressed in Indian
This is a culmination of 9.5 years' work of Salford Cottages, and we wish to join together to celebrate this great occasion. It's the biggest day in the days of the Claremont Community Association, and I hope each and every one of you will enjoy it to the full.
But I'm delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to meet all the people as we've been going around, and I'm equally delighted, and I perhaps shouldn't say this, that the small people have won for once, because too often bureaucracy wins, and in this particular case Salford Council didn't see the wisdom of keeping these weavers' cottages right at the start and granted planning permission for them to be knocked down, and that would have been a disaster, because this is a little bit of local history that ought to be preserved. And we're not careful enough about these things, these little bits of local history that we all have in the places where we live. And I hope that this has been a salutary lesson to the Salford Council, and that next time anything like this occurs, and I shall try to play my part in making sure it doesn't occur as it did in the past, but anything like this occurs in the future, we'll step back and think about it before we make that decision. That could have been an absolute disaster in this particular area of Claremont. Can I congratulate the Claremont Community Association, every member of it, They've played their part in making sure that these weavers' cottages were preserved. And our congratulations ought to go to them as a community. And I think everybody who's been in that community association over this long period of time has a great deal to be thanked for.
Thank you very much. Today I think is perhaps one of the nicest things that I've been called upon to attend since I was elected, because not only is it a really happy day, and it is a victory for the people, there's no denying that, but it's also the culmination of a great deal of hard work and effort and determination by people right across this community. And I also want to thank, I don't usually do this, but I want to thank my husband, because he actually represented the association at the inquiry and did an awful lot of very, very hard work in connection with the case. I was pleased to give whatever practical assistance I could, and you certainly had my support from day one, because I recognise the worth and value of these properties. And when I go across Salford, because I visit many of our communities now, the one thing that I can begin to see springing up are signs of hope right across Salford, as you've said. Not that we're going down, but that we're fighting back and we're coming back, and we're actually making Salford a place where people want to live, to work, to bring up their families. Trying to make Salford a safer place to live is really my #1 top political priority, and I'll continue fighting for that in every single way that I possibly can.
Barbara Watson, our local historian, please.
So I thought I'd say something about the parts of the height that have gone that I really regret. Well, I regret all the parts that have gone, but those that are, you know, pretty relevant to me. At the age of 3, my mother and father and I and my almost born sister moved up to Minden Street, Duchy Road, from Pendleton. And the rest of the family in Pendleton thought we were tremendously posh to be coming up to the height. And I can assure you, if you didn't know Duchy Road in those days, that it was an absolutely idyllic place for a child to grow up. Bank Lane itself, at the top, was just, I remember, 2 biggish houses. And then it was all open fields and farmland going down towards Duchy Road. And on the corner of Duchy Road was Aston's farm. They kept pigs. And one of my jobs in the family was to cart the old vegetables and stuff to the pigs. I hated doing it because it used to stink, but I took them all the same. And then opposite, the entrance to Telston Crescent, my mother tells me there was a duck pond. I don't remember that, but I'm sure she was right, because my mother's one of these people who remembered everything. And then just beyond the duck pond on the left, there was Bank Lane Mission, which Monica Haywood had built in 1905 to keep those of us down there in good order. Beyond that, there was the opening to Broomhall Road, and just beyond that, there was one old shop and 3 cottages. And on the bottom of the left-hand side of the lane, there were allotments built on a land which belonged to the co-op, and my father had one of those allotments, and all I can remember about it was that he grew millions of dahlias. I don't think he grew anything else but dahlias, and they were lovely. And we used to have the cricket club games days, mighty shattering of glass. Aye, somebody's window's gone. I went out later on in the night to get back in bed. It was our windows that had gone, but they were all hanging on the street.
I have to say to you, since I've been elected as a councillor to this ward, that I am fully convinced that what I've seen regarding both today and in the past few weeks which I've been involved throughout the community, that we will push things forward. Things will be positive. I can assure you now that I will drive it, but this is your day today, and I wish you all the best, and keep up the good work. Thank you very much.
The thing is, our feelings today, they're just indescribable, because Sir Neil Westbrook once said to us, "I don't give a damn." Well, we did. and thankfully so did Claremont Community Association and the residents, and a lot of Height residents past and present, people who don't live here anymore, still love Irlams of the Height and have given us their support over the last 9 years, the results of which you can now see of the cottages restored, one well on its way. And it's lovely to have new neighbours instead of boarded up cottages. I will close now. I was going to say more, but I'm sure we all want to get on with the jollifications and the entertainment, the buffet. So I'd like to end with our grateful thanks to everyone with the quotation that I read out at the appeal, at the public inquiry. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen.
At the 11th hour, these two gentlemen came to our rescue. I would like to say we have named the street today Mr. Woods and Mr. Newton Street. If I brought my sword, I would have both knighted you both. Instead, I want to give you both a kiss. And I'll leave it. May I just have got some flowers to hand out? Excuse me, Mr. Builder.
It was a very humbling experience to come in here, go round the hot cottage, and come and sit on here and listen to everything that you have done. My heartiest congratulations go to you, all of you, whatever you've done, how large or how small. Thank you. Thank you.
This is all done without the aid of a safety net. Just to prove how dangerous it is, he used to do it.
He did?
Look what it's done to him.
Pixie.
Just thought I'd show you how to do it, you see. Get easy on it. Careful, look at easy. Watch the kiddie.
Keep it away.
Oh, lovely hell. Hey!
I felt as weak as a kitten and as sick as a dog. The gyro was late, and to crown it all, the washing machine had the wash day blues. It needed a major operation, but not on the NHS, although many white coats came in to see it. They shook their head and said, tut, the bearings have gone. Gone where? So I set out in search of these bearings. Alone in my worn-out slippers, I rambled across a mountain of fermenting, sicky washing, and cried for my own music. The friends who cared shared my grief and offered me tea, coffee, chocolates and homemade bread, while my curry bag full of laundry was rammed in their machines. Feeling weak and frail from the flu, and imprisoned in my garret, with the phone my only companion, in an enlightened moment, I sent for the mender on Langworthy Road, Salford. This washing machine surgeon said he could save my old music, and he took it away, out the back way, and in 24 hours he returned. My appliance defied science. It was mended and tested, and worked perfectly, though it needed a block of wood to support a missing foot. Yet these illustrious bearings were fixed. What joy! I could have kissed him, but I didn't, besides. Aren't I a liberated washerwoman? I shouldn't show delight in any domestic pleasure. So I loaded my old Zanussi, and I measured out the powder. The hum and the slosh was pure magic. Welcome, old friend, welcome. Introduce my friend Celia Eccleston now, who's going to read a short story, called The Stone Garden. Published writer, Celia Eccleston.
This story really is for the children, but if anyone gets the message, it's very important. So I did it for working with some children at a school in Salford, and the important thing was about what damage can be done by stones, because it's not just small damage, stones start wars, so that was the basis of the story. So all the children have one little message today that'll be worth it. Once upon a time, in a little place called Irlams, some small children were playing on a croft where there were lots and lots of stones. Some bigger children came along and started picking up the stones and throwing them about. They threw them at the windows of the houses opposite the croft, and also at the cars that were parked in the street. Then they threw stones at a dog and at some birds who were resting on the croft. The people who lived in the houses were very upset and became angry with the children who were throwing the stones. "Stop throwing stones," they said. "Go away from here." The young children were also upset because they did not like to see the people in the houses angry, and they did not like seeing the dogs and the birds get hurt. "Go away from our garden and leave the birds alone," they said to the bigger children. "Your garden," laughed a group of older children. "What garden?" "We have built a stone garden with these beautiful stones," said the young children. The older children laughed again. "How can you build a garden with stones? Where are all the flowers and trees in this so-called garden?" "We will show you," said the young children. "Come and have a look. We have painted